All right, I got a friend coming over who's a member of the Cowboy Artists of America, Todd Connor, and he wants to show me a painting he's been working on. I've known Todd for almost 20 years, I guess, right now. I think he just became a member of it less than a year ago. A lot less than a year ago, probably just a few months ago. Can't remember exactly what date he became a member. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is find an X-Acto knife that I was using on this clay, and I can't find it. Sounds like he's driving up now. What I'm doing is I'm making this so that they can cut the figures off of the base, and I'll be right back. All right, my friend Todd Connor just left, and I'm going to get back to work on this gentleman here. What I'm doing is I'm cutting back the fringe on his legs. I'll be showing you here in a second. All right, I've cut the fringe off of the bottom of his leg so that the foundry can cut him off the base. I've just got to clean it up a little bit right there. I've got some cleaning up to do on the back of his leg here. I'm not gonna, this is Saturday, by the way. I've decided to come down here and work on this today because I don't have a lot of time next week to get this finished. I've got to go to a doctor's appointment on Thursday again. They're going to take a sonogram of my heart to see how it looks and all that stuff, I guess. And so I hope it works out well. I got some areas that I need to fill in. You see the holes there? I got to fill those in. I've got some work to do underneath the arm there. Need to fill in underneath here. And I'm going to do that while I got this thing laying down on a rag. And I'll be right back. I'll have to do this off camera. All right, I had to fill in underneath his chin here. I had moved his head and it cracked the clay a little bit, so I had to adjust that. I just moved his foot. There we go. Now I need to make him look like he's looking right at that guy. Bring it right to the edge of the base, which is going to run along the inside of the tape. Now, I've got to anchor him down, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm bringing the clay for the base right to that line of the tape. What I've done is I've rolled out some clay and cut it so that it would come down straight to that point. I'm only cutting this, I'll show you, I'm cutting it straight down the middle with my knife. I should have probably heated up the knife. Make it cut a little easier. But what it does, it gives me a good vertical edge to the base, and then I'll fill in around it. I'll come back when I get ready to start adding huge amounts of clay. All right, this last little bit of the border of the base goes right to the edge of the board that I have the rock mounted on. All right, now I'll clean all this up so it'll all look like I never did anything. All right, now I got to get some clay and start adding it to the center. Now this is going to take a lot of clay. Probably going to take about, maybe 2 or 3 pounds of clay. A lot of times I would have done it with foam to save myself clay, but that gets to be messy. By the way, Todd mentioned, that's Todd Connor. I say Todd because I know him so well. Todd Connor, who is just here. I've got my clay nice and soft, but I still got to be careful not to go outside the line that I've established for the base. Anyway, I was saying, before I got a message from Todd, he mentioned something about the fact that this butt of the rifle will probably be seen by him if I leave it hanging out there. So I'm going to extend the rock out a little bit. Yeah, that works. I'll just put that there to remind me to do that. Yeah, I'm going to take the tape up. I no longer need it. This picks up any clay that went over the line. Okay, now I just gotta shape things up, and I'll do that with my wire tool here. See how nicely that works with the putting down the border before you put the center fill of clay. It keeps your line straight. That's a perfectly straight line all along there, so that'll work out nice on a base when they make a base for it. I'm going to move him off so that I can work on the rock. I will break things off so easily. I was going to put texture in the rock, but I decided not to. It looks better smooth. Just putting some cracks in the rock. I'll go ahead and put him back on. Works out good. Yeah, that hides that rifle a lot better. That hides it even better. I'm going to have it stick out a little bit right there. It's almost as if nature had created a perfect hiding place for him. All right, the last thing I'm going to do today is add some rocks to this so it matches this side here. I don't want to do too many, but I want to have enough that it makes it interesting. You might think putting rocks on a base would be easy, but it isn't. You gotta kind of make them look like they're haphazardly placed so that they don't look like they've been placed by a human, but by nature. I don't want to put too many rocks on here because then it gets expensive. I want to put just enough to make it interesting. I'll go in right there. Now the signature is one I came up with when I was in high school back in 1964 and 65. I did paintings in Mr. Shaw's art class, and I came up with this signature back then. This is back when we were doing psychedelic stuff, but I always liked the signature I came up with. I can remember the first bronze I signed. I was perplexed because I didn't know if I should sign it with lemon or not, because who in their right mind would want to buy a lemon on purpose? That was my thinking back then. And I asked a artist who was at the foundry that question, and she said to me, well, I don't know. I don't think I would. Then I got to thinking about it. I'd be the only woman sculptor I know of, and the name is something that you would remember. So I stuck with my name. Now I got to put copyright. Copyright's good for my lifetime, and then for 50 years after I'm gone. That's why you see a lot of Remingtons being cast now. His copyright ran out. I'm going to put the edition size over here next to my signature. And the edition size is going to be small. I'm going to, because of how big this piece is, and I think you better keep it limited. So I'll make an edition of 10. So when I sell one, they'll put number 1, number 2 up here above the slash, and that will be number 1 of 10, number 2 of 10, and so forth. I still have a little work to do on this piece once I sell one, but for now I can get a good bid on it, and once I get the bid on it, then I can set a selling price. The hidden. I'm really happy the way this turned out. All right, everybody, good night. Till next week. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. It really would help me. Also, check out the link below this video. It will take you to a review of my 9 instructional videos that could be very helpful to you if you're thinking of sculpting. Good night, everybody.